As hard as it is to believe today, there was only one NFL game on Thanksgiving in 1958. The disappointing Detroit Lions hosted the awful Green Bay Packers in a game broadcast live on CBS. Detroit won in a laughter in front of over 50,000 people at Old Tiger Stadium. Meanwhile, on Sunday, November 30th, the Giants hosted the Philadelphia Eagles at Yankee Stadium. New York was playing in hopes of keeping pace with the Browns for first place, while the Eagles were hoping to avoid last place. And in the end, it was another easy victory for the Giants. New York established a huge lead and never really looked back. And as usual, the Giants relied on a well-balanced attack. And so that brings us to our game today. So we're going to be hosting the Philadelphia Eagles, and let's see how we do. We'll just go ahead and switch you straight on over here to this. And let me turn the sound on there. Here you go, and let's get going. So we have been playing actually pretty well. In fact, we've been playing better in this than the Giants had in real life. We do occasionally have a couple of slip-ups. We've lost twice. But we've actually done pretty well in when all is said and done. So let's go ahead and just get to this game and see if we can't win this one here. So I've talked a lot about the weather lately. That's because it's the one thing that's on everybody's mind here. Hopefully it's not too cold wherever it is that you are. This is very, very cold here, and we're going to have another cold front that comes in sometime tonight. We were worried for a little while that we were going to get more snow. Now, most places up in the north, getting more snow isn't going to hurt you that much. But for us up here, it does hurt a lot because Northern Virginia is not really prepared for large amounts of snow. Let's see if we can get Triplet to do anything. And, of course, he can't. He's really been having a hard time running. And then every time I open this up, I remember I was going to get rid of our sort of circle pass play, I want to call it, the hooks play or whatever that one is, the one that's left and B. We don't really want to call that one very much. So, but we'll just sort of avoid it today. See if I can remember next time that I want to change it. Boy, that was a little bit unlucky, wasn't it? Somebody, some sarcastic person in the comments commented on one of my older videos with the Ottawa Red Blacks saying, "Oh, you must be bad at this game. You're just throwing the ball into double or triple coverage." It's a little bit harder when you can't see the coverage. So like that time, I threw the ball to a guy who looked like he was wide open, and instead it turns out that he's covered at the very last second. So, I mean, it's not really that bad. It doesn't happen that much to you here in Tecmo Super Bowl. It's not quite like the old Madden games where it happens like all the time. But then we benefit from an interception of our own, so, what can I say? All right, let's see if we can get a score here. And we're going to get sacked there by Don Owens, so let's call a different play and see if we can get this figured out. Oh, they would have had that play blown up pretty much no matter what. So it's been kind of a defensive struggle here in the early going. Now he's open. But not quite a first down. And, oh shoot. I was trying to, work the outside and get the line, and didn't happen. Ended up getting sacked in the end, so much for that. That was this brilliant idea that I had, that I was just going to, scramble right from the beginning, and ended up not working. So we're going to have to try something else. But we have the ball back now after winning the fumble. Hey, can you believe there's been no score yet? It's been one of those kind of games. We're doing okay, but their defense is holding pretty strong. They've been covering all of our receivers. They've got them all covered again. All right, 3rd and 6. So we've been able to get a couple of yards there when we've been all covered up. But that's not good. That's not good at all. That's not good for anyone. So we've had, a pair of interceptions, or I'm sorry, we've had 3 fumbles and 1 interception so far in the first quarter of this game. A little bit unusual for you. Sam Huff has been in a lot of these tackles here so far in this season. This save, by the way, is nearing the finishing point. We're nearing the finishing line here. This will be over in really a couple of games. Then we start the playoffs. So this one is equipped with, I think it's 3-team playoffs. It's we have 8-team playoffs here, which is not realistic. In real life, actually, there were playoffs between only the top 2 teams of the league. 58 ends up being a little bit different because one of the divisions ends up being tied, but we'll get to that in a couple of days when we get that far in the history. The problem with that sort of setup, and you can see this in the newspapers, is that it's like, okay, you have to, be one of the best teams in the league or your season's basically over like part of the way through. So I'm not really someone who's a huge fan of having really long playoffs, right? I'm not a huge, I'm not really that interested in that. But I can tell you that when it comes to something like the NFL, it actually is very helpful. And the reason why it's helpful is because otherwise you wind up in a situation where you're like 2 games out or something, but there's just no time left, and like the rest of the season doesn't matter anymore. You have a team that happens to be really good that's in first place, and so you're like, well, we shouldn't even try, right? Because it doesn't matter. There's no way that we can get anywhere, no way that we can win. Right, the only way we can get to the Super Bowl or whatever is if, we have good enough luck and everybody else loses and stuff like that. So anyway, Charlie Connery ends up running for the touchdown. Tom Heinrich, by the way, was the, Tom Don, right? Heinrich was the quarterback in real life for this game, but since Connerly was out for a lot of the early part of the season, when I forgot about him, we're going to put him back in, or we have him back in, I should say. So yeah, we'll see how we do. 7-0, which is pretty good. It's been a defensive struggle, that's for sure. And that was me catching up with them. There you go. I know I'm not doing the kickoff return trick that people have been telling me about, so we'll do that next time. Boy, did you see that? He totally hammered through me. That was fun. That was a good block that time, so much for that. You can tell the difference though here. So I've been talking a lot about balance issues with this game. So like in this particular game, since we're playing against the Philadelphia Eagles that are not a very good team, you can feel that their line is not really that good. But when we were playing against like Baltimore or for whatever reason like the Washington Redskins or whatever, like you can feel that the line is actually pretty good and you start having a hard time, getting through, making defensive plays and stuff. And I mean, it's okay. Like I do know that it's sort of important, but it feels like there wasn't a lot of sort of fine-tuned testing going on here to make sure that, the line was set up in a way that's actually sort of realistic. Of course, as I say that, they end up with a big run, but the reason why they had that big run is because I ended up getting grappled to one of their linemen sort of at the last second. Yeah, I thought they were going to do it this way. Yeah, see, it's good defense. We're making it so that they don't really have much of a chance. And fortunately for us, it's not, Bobby Lane back there again, who was running all over us. So we forced the field goal. It's a pretty good success for us. This, again, has been a real defensive battle. Kind of surprising, too. And I just wasn't quite on time. And so they doink it in, and it makes it 7-3. We haven't, I don't think that we've shut anybody out so far this season. That itself is not an easy thing to do here in Tecmo Super Bowl, I'll tell you that. In theory, at least in the base game, it would be getting harder to play as we keep going along. As you keep winning, it's set up so that it becomes more and more difficult. But for us, actually, it hasn't been getting that much harder. Anyway, now it's our favorite time of the game. Oh, that's fortuitous. We get the good halftime screen, so hopefully what that means is that we're going to have good luck here in the second half. Only up 7-3. You'd think we'd be up a little bit more, but we haven't quite been that lucky on offense. I know I said last time that I was going to do the kickoff trick, and instead I didn't. Oh, apparently I chose the right passing play. Got him. That, by the way, I didn't know that was going to happen. That was kind of one of those... oh, shoot. that was kind of one of those, you know, hope and pray that you made the right choice type things. I thought that they were going to pass again, and so I just sort of, you know, bet the farm on it and ended up working. So, and this time we were just lucky we got the fumble. Otherwise, we'd be in trouble. 16-3, and it very, very well could have been, you know, not 16-3. It could have been 10-9 there after that fumble. There I am again, not doing the kickoff trick. So whoever it was, I can't remember who it was in the comments who's been telling me this is probably going to, you know, want to go after me here in a second. Bro, how come you didn't catch that? Ball's right to you and you still can't catch it? Maybe he doesn't have any interceptions or something, I don't know. Alright, let's see if we can stop them here, huh? There we go. Force the punt. 16-3. Well, this has not been a pretty game, that's for sure, but at least it looks like we're in pretty good position. We should hopefully be able to hold on to this one and get another victory for ourselves. Alright. And guess what? He's open again. I don't understand why, but these teams are having a real hard time, you know, keeping with Webster. He ends up being open a lot more often than he really should be. I thought Connerly might be able to scramble for the first down. Not quite, but this puts us in a pretty good position. And no, he's not open this time. I was going to say, guess who's open again, but no, he wasn't. However, this guy, Shankler, is that right? He's wide open. Oh shoot, that's a really bad pass. Alright, so we go to the fourth quarter. It still is sort of anybody's game here. Only 16-3. That's not an insurmountable margin. I wanted to go back to my running back there. It was a mistake on my part. I pushed the A button instead of the B button. Oh shoot now. Ah, man. Man, I thought that I had the first down too. What I should have done is I should have hugged the sideline. I should have tried to go out of bounds. As long as our defense can hold, we'll be all right. But yeah, that was definitely another mistake on my part. So we've had a couple of mistakes here. A couple of plays that were maybe not the best plays in the world. By the way, that dive that I did right there was not me. That was the game controlling that automatically. So if you're close, like I was on that play, it has you jump automatically, and also if you're close enough to dive, it will have you dive automatically. Pretty interesting stuff. Very, very close to blocking it. And that's kind of a key play, that extra point, because now 16-10. If we could block that, then that changes really the complexion of the game. Kind of hard to see what's happening since the guys are flashing all over the place, but whatever. Yeah, they were looking for Gifford to run. That's right, they have their timeouts left too, so we're not quite over yet. We've got to drive the field and get a score here. That's really what we need. Oh, come, you gotta catch it, baby. Oh man, I don't know. I don't know what you guys were worried about. We had that in the bag all along. Easy money. Easy touchdown. Charlie Connerly with a touchdown. That should do it. We have, what, less than 2 minutes left in this game. We'll have a 23-10 lead here in a second. Is that a score-origami? You guys can go look that up. I'm not sure. Probably not. If it was like 23-2 or something, that might be a little bit more like it. Not only less than 2 minutes left, when they finally have the ball here, it will be exactly 1 minute left. How about that? And look, I didn't do the kickoff trick again. So I'm really, really bad at keeping my word in this game. I think the only thing I care about right now is that we actually win this game. We might get another safety here, though. Or we do. 25-10. How do you like that? So is this going to be a scoregami? Well, that makes it, what, 31-10? So this was a much closer game than it looked. I was actually a little bit worried about this for a second, but we have done it right. And then you know what that means? That means that we can finally kick the kickoff the right way, huh? Alright, so we're going to go down here. Oh, that didn't really do anything. So we win 32-10. Kind of an unusual score. We have just a little bit over 200, let's see here, 250 yards passing, 251, right? And Connerly ends up with a 63% completion rate, which is not bad. We only had 6 first downs in that game, so it was definitely a defensive struggle, but we kind of blew it open there at the end. So another win for us. We'll go back to the schedule. We play next against Detroit in Week 14. That should be an easy victory. And then after that, our one remaining game is against the Browns. So we'll have all of this for you here over the next 2 days. And then we'll take a look and see what the playoffs look like and see how we do in the playoffs. The Browns, meanwhile, I'm not sure how they are. I'm pretty sure that they will make the playoffs, right? If we go look at the standings here really quick. So Washington's 5-5. We are 8-2. We're pretty much in. Cleveland 6-5. Pittsburgh 6-4. So yeah, they're going to make it pretty much no matter what. I mean, the Eagles are not going to be there, and the Chicago Cardinals are really, really bad. So it's going to be us and Washington, Pittsburgh, and Cleveland. Then over here, you got Baltimore is definitely in. Chicago and Green Bay will also be in, along with LA. And so San Francisco and Detroit will be sort of the odd ones out. So there you have it. That's the way that things look so far. Thank you once again for joining me, and hope that you're having a great day. Hope that it's not too cold for you, and I'll talk with you again tomorrow. Bye.